Hello there. There can only be one negotiated solution to the Northern Ireland tragedy and the whole Brexit stalemate, and that is the reunification of Northern Ireland with the rest of Ireland. 24 weeks ago, there was an election in Northern Ireland, but the denominational camps cannot agree on a government. That's why there will probably be a vote again soon, but there doesn't seem to be a way out. After the failed formation of a government in Northern Ireland, criticism of the British central government is growing. The leader of the main Protestant DUP party, Geoffrey Donaldson, called on the government in London to focus on solving the problem instead of zigzagging around a snap election. It's now clear that the head of ministers, the Prime Minister, has not yet decided how to proceed, is what Donaldson said, as reported by the Belfast Telegraph newspaper. The leader of the main Protestant DUP party, Geoffrey Donaldson, urged London to focus on solving the problem. Yeah, the problem is the DUP. How do they want to solve that from London? The only people that can solve that are the people in Northern Ireland not voting for the DUP. Just saying. The British Northern Ireland Minister Chris Heaton-Harris announced on Friday that he would call new elections in the region. Contrary to the expectations he had fueled, he initially did not name any date, though. The deputy leader of the strongest Catholic party, Sinn Féin, Michelle O'Neill, therefore accused Heaton-Harris of a bizarre U-turn. Irish Prime Minister the Taoiseach Micheál Martin warned that elections would only lead to further polarisation. First, the democratic institutions must be restored, Martin demanded. Because the DUP and Sinn Féin were unable to agree on the prescribed unity government of both denominational camps by a certain deadline, there is now no government in office, although it's not about the agreement, it's just about the DUP. The regional parliament is no longer functional, and O'Neill criticised that the people of Northern Ireland were left in the dark because of the DUP. The Sinn Féin party, which is striving for reunification with EU member Ireland, and rightly so as I say, was the strongest party for the first time in May's election. However, the DUP, which advocates union with Great Britain, has so far refused a joint government as stipulated in the 1998 Good Friday Agreement. As an ultimatum, they call for the lifting of special Brexit rules for Northern Ireland that Great Britain and the EU had agreed on, and which are a blessing for Northern Ireland, as everybody can see at the moment. Heaton-Harris, as I said, also has threatened regional MPs with a cut in their salaries. At a time when so many people are struggling with the cost of living and fearing what is to come, I understand people's frustration that MPs continue to be paid a full salary despite not doing all the duties for they were elected, he said, and he is right. The Conservative politician pointed out that no government was in office anymore. It means there are no ministers providing the public services you rely on, he said. And nobody can take care of the financing of hospitals, schools, doctors, and nursing staff. Therefore, in the absence of an executive branch, I will take limited but necessary steps to protect public finances and the delivery of public services, Heaton-Harris said. He had already consulted with the highest official in the part of the country. Well, you don't need to beat around the bush. Brexit is to blame for the whole thing. The mindless isolationism, the criminal self-love, the degrading play of the privileged with the life of those to whom they should be democratically committed. Blame it on Boris Johnson, Liz Truss, Nigel Farage, the whole miserable crew of big-mouth liars, gamblers, and even war profiteers. This baggage, this group is to blame for Northern Ireland sinking back into violence after 22 hard-fought years of fragile peace. That is what will happen when the new and completely uniformed in Northern Ireland British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak lets the agitators in Ulster take the reins. And dodgy Whitehall actors or actresses are allowed to continue spreading fairy tales about the EU and how it is torpedoing the beautiful Brexit. The first thing that comes to mind is the spiritual arsonist Suella Braverman in the Home Office. The world is indeed standing on a historical threshold thanks to the arsonist Putin, and there can only be one negotiated solution to the Northern Ireland tragedy: reunification with the rest of Ireland, and a radically secular orientation of then new Irish state structure. Otherwise, there will be deaths. And the DUP is doing everything to make this happen at the moment. If this happens, the DUP will have to be blamed for this. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.